In this class, we'll be working on lengthening the sides of our body from the pelvis to the armpits to get more spaciousness and a feeling of freedom in the spine. If you've got blocks, grab them. If you don't, we can improvise. We'll start standing. Stand with your feet hip distance apart and parallel to each other. Place your left hand just to the IT band or the side of the hip. Take your right arm over your head and get a nice stretch to the side. Keep on pressing into the IT band. Bend your knees and take the thighs back slightly so you can get more fullness in the stretch. Inhale, lift up, place your right hand to the IT band, reach your left arm over, bend your knees again. Take the tops of the thighs back slightly and reach over. Inhale, rise up. Place your right hand to the back of the head and draw the head back into the hand. Press your left hand again to the sides of the leg, draw over. Now the hand wants to push the head forward. Take your head back, draw it from your armpit to your elbow to reach over even more. With the knees bent, draw the tops of the thighs back. Now expand, just reach your arm over your head. Inhale, rise up. Take your left hand to your head, press your head back, press your right hand to the side, draw over to the side, bend your knees, take the tops of the thighs back, draw over, and as you do, get the length once again from the armpit to the elbow. Keep pressing your right hand against the IT band, reach over so you get this nice fullness. Inhale and rise up. Stand in Tadasana for a moment and turn your palms so that the thumbs reach back and the baby fingers reach forward. Now step nice and wide, and as you step nice and wide, just bend your left knee to bring a little awareness to the inner thigh muscle. Come back to the center and do the same on the opposite side to open up and expand the left inner thigh muscle. And come back to center. Now with your feet nice and wide apart, bend your knees again. Take the tops of the thighs back. Place your right hand down to the mat. Keep your knees slightly bent. Turn your heart toward your left side as you start to straighten your right leg and bend your left leg more. Come back to the center position. Take your left hand down to the mat. Take your right hand to your low back. Turn your heart toward the right knee. As you bend your right knee, take the top of the left thigh back to get a nice opening there to the inner thigh. Come back to the center position. Place your hands to your low back with the knees slightly bent. Rise up. Heel toe your feet in, 2. Feet parallel, hip distance apart. Draw the tops of the thighs back. See if you can get your knees slightly further back. Reach your arms up. From here, take your right hand down to the outer left knee and slowly make your way toward your foot. Come back to the center position. Take your left hand to the outer right knee. Slowly make your way down toward your foot. Come back to the center position and lower yourself a little bit more so that you can freely take your hands to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, lift your heels high. With a nice lift of your heels, you can pivot to the right to continue this effort of stretching through the side body to get a little bit more length in the spine by creating this elongation to the side body muscles. Back to center. Keep the heels lifted. Pivot to the left side. Back to center. And come to your knees. On your knees, step your right foot just a little bit further outside the right hand. Walk your hands to the left side at the diagonal. Look at your right knee. Make sure it's right over your right ankle. Bow forward. Just get this nice opening now of the hip area. Come back to hands on either side of your right foot. Step back to come to a puppy dog pose. And in this pose, the pelvis is right over the knees. The hands are forward and nice and wide apart. You release your head down. And as you do, try not to let your belly hang. Instead, draw from the navel back to the spine to bring more fullness into the kidney area. Walk your hands over to the right side. Stack your left hand on top of the right and breathe in to expand through the left side ribs. Come back to the center position with your hands nice and wide apart. Release your head, keep your armpits lifted, your shoulder blades lifted. Walk your hands over to the left side, and at the left side, stack your right hand on top of your left. Let your head just draw toward the earth. Inch your fingers a little bit further at the diagonal. Come back to the center position. And lift yourself up to take your left foot just to that outer left hand. Walk your hands over at the diagonal to the right side. Look at your left knee. Have it right over the ankle. Draw your heart down toward the mat. And breathe in to expand through the left side body. And on the next inhale breath, come back to all fours position. Step back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, lift your right leg up, lift it higher, bend your right knee, and get a nice stretch to the top of the right thigh. Release your right foot down, take your left leg in the air, lift the left hip higher than the right, bend your left knee, get a nice fullness to the side body, keep the right armpit lifted before taking your left foot down to the mat. Walk your hands back to your feet, so now you're at the very back edge of your mat. Place your hands right above your knees. Reach your arms away from the knees and nice and wide apart. Take your right hand again to the outer left knee. Just allow your hand to slide down a little bit lower so you open up in the twist. Come back to the center position. Hands wide apart, fingers are spread. Take your left hand to the outer right knee. Again, slide your hand down toward your foot as you open your chest nicely. Back to the center position before releasing your hands down to the mat. Walk them forward toward the front of the mat. Now walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. Place your hands to your low back. With your knees bent, hug your elbows in and rise up. Come to a standing pose in Tadasana. Stand tall. Get a nice openness of the upper chest. Draw the heads of the arm bones back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees to take your hands alongside your ankles. Step yourself back to all fours position or a plank position and lower yourself down to the mat. Once you're on the mat, come to the fingertip top position. Inhale, lift yourself up slightly. Exhale, soften. This baby cobra pose. Have your back muscles do most of the work. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, draw down. One more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, draw down. Place the hands flat. Lift yourself to all fours position. In all fours position, come to downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Step wide on your mat. In a wide stance, turn your right toes out. Lift your arms up. Exhale, take your hand down. Right hand down to the right shin. If you've got a block and like to use it, grab it. Or you can take your hand to the floor if you feel like you've got the freedom. But I like giving myself a little bit more space here in triangle pose so that you can take your left hand to the underside ribs and just turn the ribs toward the sky. From there, reach your left arm up, expand, and now feel the expansion to the left side of the body as you reach your left arm over your head and enjoy the length that you get. Root down through the back foot to inhale and lift yourself up. Come to the opposite side, so turn your right toes in, left toes out. Stay in a wide stance. Pull the feet in toward each other. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, take your left hand down to whatever feels comfortable for you. Take your lifted right hand to the left side ribs. Lift the underside ribs up. Maybe take your gaze up. Reach your right arm up. Reach your right arm over your head to get the length. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release your hands. Now heel toe your feet just a little bit narrower, but slightly wider apart than your hips are. You can even turn your toes out. We'll be coming toward a squat position, but we'll come back up to standing. So as you come to a stance that works for you, if going fully to a squat is too much, then just come halfway down and come to that chair pose that we've been practicing. So bend your knees and see about drawing yourself down toward the mat. And once you get to the level that works for you, just draw your hands away from each other, open the chest nicely. Now take the hands back toward each other and have the backs of the hands just tap. Inhale, now externally rotate your arms to open the chest nicely. Exhale, just tap the back of the hand again. One more time. Externally rotate and open the arms. And exhale, just draw the backs of the hands together. Now inhale, lift yourself out to come out of the pose. Come to the top of the mat. On the in-breath, reach your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, take your hands down alongside your feet and step back either to plank or to all fours again. Lower yourself all the way to the mat. Once you're on the mat, stack your hands. Press your third eye into the stacked hands. Lift up your stacked hands as if lifting up your head. Exhale, take your hands down. Inhale, lift your head up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Place your hands alongside your ribs. Lift up to all fours position and come to a seated pose. If you could sit cross-legged in comfort, please do that. So cross your legs and have the left leg push toward the belly of the calf muscle of the right leg. Place your right hand just to your side. If this is uncomfortable for you, just use a chair or prop yourself up on blankets or a block. Bend your right elbow. Take your left hand to your head, similar to how we started. Press your head back to get this nice openness. Now, free your left hand, reach it out. Use your right hand to press down to get your left sit bone to plant itself nicely. And inhale, rise up. With the left hand to your side, roughly aligned with the pelvis. Bend your left elbow. Take your right hand to your head, press your head back, reach from the armpit to the elbow. With your left hand pressing, get the right to sit itself a little bit more firmly as you reach your right arm over your head. Inhale, rise up, come out of the pose. Extend your legs out. And again, prop yourself up if you'd like to get a little bit more height because you feel like you're rounding too much. From here, with your legs extended out in Upavistha Konasana, reach your left hand toward your left foot. Take your right arm up and just reach over as if trying to tap the foot. Inhale, rise up. Same thing on the opposite side. Just thread your right hand toward your foot, reach your left arm up and reach it over. Inhale, rise up. Rather than working the inside of the leg with the left hand, can you reach the right hand to the outside of the left leg and reach toward your foot? Use the hand to work against the leg to get the side body to get a little bit more length. Use your left hand, press it down to get the hip firmly rooted as you draw yourself a little bit deeper into your twist. Inhale, rise up. Take your left hand to the outer right leg. Just let it slide and use your right hand again as a kind of kickstand to both give you length to the spine but also to root down through the left hip as you reach toward the right foot. And inhale, rise up, come out of the pose. Take your feet together in Dandasana. Use your hands to get a nice elongation. Your choice. You can bend your right knee, and if that's fine for you, you can stay there. But can you bend your right knee and take your right foot just alongside your right hip to give yourself a little bit of a thigh stretch? If that doesn't work for you, please don't go there. But the alternative is also that you can take your foot just to the inner thigh and the knee wide. Whatever pose you're in, just pause there, get tall, and with that nice elongation of the spine, see if your foot is by your pelvis, if you can draw back. Some of you can draw all the way back to lie on your back, but most of us just want to work to get a little thigh stretch here. And on the next inhale, rise up. Do the same with the left leg. Straighten your right leg. Bend your left into whatever position works nicely for you. If you can, place your left foot by the pelvis, by all means. Sit tall. Now walk your hands back. Maybe come to your forearm. Maybe all the way down. It's really up to you. How you get this nice feeling of elongation on the top of the left thigh. Come out of the pose using the help of the arms. Place both feet in front of you with your knees bent and with your feet parallel. Bend your elbows, hug your elbows in and get a nice fullness to the front side of the body. Can you lift your pelvis up in this pose? If not, just keep your pelvis on the earth, but a nice openness to the heart. Now release your pelvis down and lie on your back. As you lie on your back, bend your elbows, press your elbows, get a nice lift of your heart and lift your pelvis up for a bridge pose. Bring a nice awareness to your breath. Slowly release your pelvis down. Release your arms. Extend your legs. Breathe in and breathe out long. Soften your facial muscles. Attune to your breath. These poses that we did in the practice allow for so much more spaciousness to the sides of the body. As you breathe in through the nose and you breathe out through the nose, notice the freedom that the lungs have now that you can expand so fully on the right side of the body and the left side of the body. Maintain that awareness as you enjoy this time of restoration and rejuvenation. Thank you for joining me in the practice. Namaste.